Hello everyone, I am Plankera, and today we're going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So last time I was working on the claw area. I got most of it done, but I was getting a little bit tired by the time I got to the left half of it. So I figured I'd stop there and revisit it today, and indeed, today I have far more energy to handle this, I think. So the area that I'm looking at right now is right over here. I'm debating on exactly how I should handle this little side peeking out here, because right now I think the effect is a little bit too strong. I wanted to bring him a little bit further over. Let him hide just a little bit more. And then from there, kinda clean some stuff up around here. Maybe let that little area stick out a little bit more cleanly. Maybe something like that. That's why I was hiding the bang at the beginning there. Give a better idea of where these two clumps of hair meet together. 'Cause yeah, I don't think this right part of the claw here is in a particularly good shape near the top here. Looks like it got a little flattened out, not nearly floofy enough. And if your hair's not floofy, like, what are you doing? This is the anime. Anime hair has to be floofy. It's like the rules. So I'm gonna work on floofing that out a bit and trying to find the perfect spot for all these little areas here. Trying to make everything a little bit more round and a little bit nicer looking. I can tell I was getting a little bit tired when I was working some of these spots. But that's pretty normal. I am generally getting pretty tired by the end here. So, nothing surprising there. I think I got it pretty close, though. It's like 90% of the way there. I just wasn't entirely satisfied with how these two clumps were meeting at the top. Everything else I think looks fine. Something I couldn't really dig into while I was super tired yesterday. Now we can revisit this area and get everything all worked out. I swear, every time I think I'm getting close to finishing the hair, I find one other spot that I forgot. I forgot about. Like here, I was like, oh man, we're working our way through the strands. The strands are almost done. Once the strands are done, that's like all the hair. And everything will be done, and then I remember, oh yeah, I never did the part that goes over the shoulder. Oh no. But it's okay. Sometimes I feel like I will never be free from hair. Just always comes back to haunt me in some way. And knowing me as I go on, I'll probably keep making minor corrections to various areas. That's just how I roll, you know? The perfectionism never lets me be, like, truly finished with something. I'm just working through some things that I was noticing while I was taking a look at everything this morning, just continuing those corrections. I always like to start my art sessions by looking at what I did the day before, and possibly even before then, just taking a look at the picture and seeing if anything jumps out at me as wrong or something that I want to fix. So when I get started tends to be when I have the most energy, and I'd say probably within like 5 or 10 minutes of getting started, after I've warmed up and done all that stuff. That's when I have the most clarity in what's not quite right. So I always like to try to spend a little bit of time taking another look at everything and making sure I still like it all. Sometimes I'll do that throughout the day too. When it came to rigging before I started streaming, I'd actually just, if I had 5 minutes, I'd just poke at it for a few minutes and then come back later, make minor changes, and rinse repeat until I had an area completely done. So I generally just go and go and go all day long. But that's not a process that works very well when I'm trying to live stream the entirety of the process. And I think that probably gives you a good idea of how I function. A lot of what I'm working on tends to be on my mind all day, and I can never get it out. Just, brain is juggling so many things. Is it really any wonder that it tends to get a little bit distracted sometimes? Alright, I wouldn't have it in any other way. Alright. Happier with those areas now, so heading back to the claw. Let's actually try to get something done in the claw here. Alright, so I'm just starting on some of the edges here. Trying to get all these angles pointing in the right direction. That tends to be the first step for me, of just get relative thickness and then get relative angles. Because I actually think a lot of... how should I say this? A lot of getting the likeness of something has more to do with perfecting the angles of that they go off here. Like, you can see that following this strand, it comes to like a stop here and then goes down sharply. If you're looking at it from this here, and so this is a nice big obtuse angle here. Then you see the angle here where it kind of goes down here and then goes out here, making this tiny little acute angle there. And I think that is what a lot of drawing something's likeness is, of just finding the right angle. Thickness and angles. And I think that's why when you see a lot of more experienced artists draw, they'll often draw like completely straight lines and then round them out later. Or at least the ones that I watch do. That's pretty common, and I do it a lot too. As much as I do enjoy my circles and my roundness, I wouldn't say that I start with it. It can actually be pretty hard to define the shape of something just by going with curved lines. It's another case of our brain deceiving us a little bit. Although in this case, I guess it's not so much the brain deceiving us, like when we look at floofy hair, the floofy hair probably is very round and very floofy. But when we, as artists, try to break down the shapes so that this way we can replicate them, they end up straighter until we can make them round again. Trying to think of someone that always drew in curves. And can't think of anyone off the top of my head, although I'm sure that there are some that work like that, especially if they draw more abstract pieces. Or work in highly geometric, with highly geometric shapes. In which case, anything that's curved would probably be curved from the beginning. I don't know, it's interesting to think about. What can I say? I've been thinking about processes a lot lately. It's been on my mind. So that's roughly what I'm doing, just trying to imitate the right curves here. Preserve the angles. That this way, as her head turns, it looks like it's turning. A lot of the angles are the same, just changed slightly to better suit the angle that her head is at. This is part of the reason I think rigging has helped my art a lot. Because when you're rotating all this to another angle of the head, you gotta pay attention to, like, everything. And there's so many little things that I never really thought of until I had to think about, like, really deeply. What would change when the head goes this direction? What actually changes here? And so I think it's helped a lot. That's why I say that I recommend rigging for any artist that just is interested in experimenting with it. I think even if you decide not to stick with it, if you decide it's not for you, that you'll still pick up some useful skills from it. The ability to think in 3 dimensions is very valuable, even just for drawing. Even if your style is relatively flat, like some of mine. I find that even a lot of flat drawings, or ones that don't go for a lot of dimensionality, still want to portray some amount of space. That people look into another world via the painting. And that's also something that rigging can help with. Developing that sense of space. There are things you can do to train your brain to do whatever you want it to do a little bit better. Because brains, for all their silliness, are pretty smart. And if you help them out, they'll help you out too. And they will learn. Maybe sometimes they don't learn the lesson that you want them to, but they do learn something. The good news is I think the claw is almost done. That's exciting. It worked pretty well with me today, so that makes me happy. Always happy when art is willing to work with me. So here I'm trying to figure out exactly how this area that kind of connects the two claws together should actually shake out. I'm not entirely sure, if I'm being honest. So I'm just gonna have to try some things. See what happens. See which one I like. So once I finish kind of correcting some of the other areas around it, yeah, I think that's fine. Alright, so let's think this through. The claw, it's moving. When her head moves, we see more of this right here. And the angle over here probably shows a little bit more of this side too. We see more here. Doing my best to kind of vocalize my thought process here. Gonna close my eyes to try to picture things in 3D space in my head. So if we see more of that, then the way it connects here, I do think it should probably go a little bit further this way. Maybe. I speak with not very much confidence, but that's okay. That's why I'm just trying things. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. I don't have to know. I'll figure it out. I think this might be okay. I might just need to tweak some stuff around. Let me see. Let me hide the other half of the claw here. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to solve this without both halves of the claw. So what I'm looking at is actually the shadow underneath this loop here. And right now it's looking a little bit funny to me. I think the loop itself might also be a little bit funny. So let's see if I can't make that loop a little bit less funny. Try to make it so nothing looks weird. Nothing squirming. Everything in its place. Or hopefully it can all be nice and comfortable. See if I can't make that loop a little bit happier. Okay, I think that's... yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so now I can focus on the shadow area under here. What does it look like again? Something like that. Fortunately, like, most of it isn't, like, of this area isn't visible at all, so I can pretty much do whatever I want in order to make that look good. Seems like it should be, with this angle change, should be a little bit more visible. So I'm going to make this area thicker. Like, much thicker. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better, I think. Still don't like this area, though. Don't like it at all. Let's see what I can do to make all that better. Man, just really looks like it's squirming over to the left quite a lot. Or to the right, yes. The right. Look. It's hard to remember what is left and what is right sometimes. Especially when I have to be backwards about it half the time due to rigging convention. It's fine. It's fine. So what I was not liking here was that it was looking like this highlight was getting way too close to the loop here. It was looking a bit strange. I think this is a bit better. Kind of looks like the loop itself is getting lower though, so let's just pull things up a little bit there. Don't want it to look like it's sagging. That would be deeply unfortunate. Do not want any sagging loops. Hair must be quirky and floofy. Alright, you see some slight crunchiness there, but I think the movement itself is okay. Just gotta fix the crunch. I'm not sure what's causing the crunch, but I will figure it out. I always do. Now let's see, what does it look like here? That might be correct. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Okay, it's stretching out at the bottom. So that just means I need to bring this vertex and this vertex a little higher up. Don't want that to stretch out either. I'm sure we can find great places for everyone and everything. And nothing will be squirmy. Nothing will be uncomfortable. Just gotta go a little bit further here. Make some minor adjustments down there, around the shadow, on the loop. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Time to add the next lump. Alright, so this guy. I think this is the last big clump, and then we have some important strands. Alright, looks like I've done most of the big picture here, so just kind of need to just get the details in place here. And of course, make it so it's not peeking out here. No, we gotta hide behind the strands here. There we go. Gotta hide back there. Gotta hide some other things back there too. Been able to get back into drawing off stream again. Just drawing some pictures of some original characters of mine. And it's been a good time. Haven't been worried about speed or getting things done quickly. Like last year I was making a point of updating or posting something every week. And it was a good experience, but it did get a little bit stressful because I had to pick pictures that were relatively simple that I could actually complete in that time frame. And what I was able to do gradually got more and more complex and interesting. But there was still that time crunch that could be a little bit stressful. So right now I'm just kind of taking my time, doing what I want, drawing whatever subject matter I feel like. And it's been fun. It's been nice to just kind of relax a little while drawing again, instead of working really hard to get something done on a deadline. Just work on whatever. And this particular drawing has been quite fun because I realized that I've never attempted to draw like heavy makeup or anything. And this character definitely has that, so I've been doing a lot of experiments to figure out what all that should look like. I think it'll be a while before I finish it and post it on Twitter, but that'll be something that you can look forward to if you want. Probably won't finish it by the end of this month, but I think I should by September. The end of September, that is. I don't think that'll be a trouble. Be a problem at all. It's just me trying things. Having a good time. Not really worrying about it. A very raw essence of whatever Plankera feels like drawing today. And I think sometimes we have to have those little adventures for ourselves. Of just learning about things stylistically. Going for whatever particular whim or mood I happen to have at the moment, and drawing because I feel like drawing it as opposed to because I think it might get likes on Twitter. It's been nice. I've been having a good time. I will say, one of the most fun parts of drawing heavy makeup like this is that I get to go really hard on the eyelashes. I really like drawing fluffy eyelashes, but these are just like cartoonishly fluffy and it's wonderful. Like, it looks ridiculous and I love it. Just completely ridiculous. So I do look forward to posting it. I haven't drawn a picture of this character in a really long time, and the one that I have finished of her was in my minimalist style. And if I recall, my description of that image was, wait, why did I think it was a good idea to draw this character in a minimalist style? Just because she's so dang flashy. Super, super flashy. I think that's what's making her really fun to draw right now, is just, she's super flashy, has no sense of moderation in that regard. It's a shame that I'm only drawing the face, really, because otherwise I'd draw like the 10 pounds of necklaces she wears and all that stuff. Her aesthetic is ridiculous. But she's a lot of fun. I'm hoping to draw some more original stuff coming up. Just drawing fan art is fun, and I've been having a great time working with this official art from Path to Nowhere, but in the end I did learn how to draw because I wanted to be able to draw my characters. It is literally why 13-year-old me decided learning how to draw was a good idea. Just wanted to draw my OCs. And here I am now. Probably not drawing them as much as I want to. Well, that's something that can easily be rectified. It's a bit easier for me to justify now, too, because I'm not feeling the need to try to post something once a week. Or more. It's a good experience. I mean, if you're really looking to get more consistent and improve your art, I do think setting deadlines for yourself like that is a good idea. Especially since one of the things that I wanted to do was improve speed. But, it does leave you a bit more limited in other areas. I didn't have a lot of room for experimentation or just trying things because, well, I mean, if it didn't work out, then would I just not have something to post that week? Like, what was I supposed to do? So, it was a bit limiting in that regard. But the raw amount that it got me to make was very helpful for me. And just saying that I could, I think, meant a lot as well. Because this is coming off from someone that could often spend months working on a single picture. And here I was, doing a new picture every week, and having it be finished. That was pretty rad. It definitely improved my abilities in a lot more indirect ways. And direct ways, but also indirect ways. I decided that the reasonable compromise between posting every week and being able to do things more at my own pace was streaming. Part of the reason I decided to start doing it. So now I'm still at least producing something every day, putting something out there. And that's kind of important to me. Being able to go back and see the progress is nice. I haven't gone back and watched any of my old live streams yet, although I plan to. It's on my list of things to do, I just know it's going to be super cringe and I'm scared, so I haven't done it yet. Just listening to the sound of my own voice for an hour. It's like, oh no. Oh no. But someday, I want to go back and do that. See what I sound like now versus what I sound like then. See if I'm able to just ceaselessly ramble better. Say what's on my mind better. Speak more clearly. All those things. It's a lot of good stuff. I have no doubt that it could be a lot of useful feedback that I could use going forward, but the cringe, man. I haven't been able to work that out. Okay, someday I'll be ready. I'm pretty good at forcing myself to do things. I've just been doing a lot lately, so one thing at a time here. One thing at a time. Right now I'm getting back into drawing. So I don't need to embrace the cringe right now. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself. It makes me feel better. But honestly, if you're thinking about streaming or making some kind of content for YouTube and some of that stuff makes you nervous or the sound of your own voice makes you cringe, don't worry, you're not alone. Not in the slightest. It's extremely common. Just if you want to do it, you kind of gotta get over it. Work through it, do it anyway. Embrace the cringe. Do it at your own pace. It's okay. It's worth it, trust me. I've been enjoying doing this, which is why I keep doing it. And I've learned quite a bit about myself and my process by doing this, just because, you know, I keep talking about it every day. Keep talking about it for an hour every single day. Of course I'm going to learn something. And it's also given me a lot more appreciation for the people that I do watch. Because before I tried it, I didn't think that drawing and talking like this would be nearly as hard as it actually is. It's way more difficult than I thought it would be. And it's taken a lot of time for me to be able to do it reasonably. Or when I feel like I don't get caught up in my words or anything like that. I just talk kind of slowly. Sometimes I know that there's like random pauses and stuff like that, but I have to think through my words. Otherwise I'd just be sitting here going the entire time. And nobody wants to hear that. I think it's also helped me talk to other people too. My ability to articulate has definitely improved. That's why I say, it's like, if you're thinking about it, just go for it. That's what I did. Dude, when I did my first stream, I was so nervous. And fortunately I had been drawing for a friend for a couple of... Was it a couple of months at that point? It was at least a few weeks. At least 1 month, I think. But I had been drawing for a friend over Discord for a while. So I had at least gotten used to talking and drawing at the same time. But even that took me a little while to get used to. And there was no way that I would have been able to figure it out without just doing it. There's no way around it. I just had to talk and draw at the same time. I had to practice in order for my brain to get this level of multitasking ability. And even then, compared to what I've seen some streamers be able to do, I don't think I'm quite where I want to be yet, but I've at least gotten to the point where I can think of other stuff to talk about instead of just funneling hard on the art itself. So, but that's something that comes with practice. And there's no way to get that practice without just doing it. That's why I just jumped in head first. I said, okay, I'm gonna start streaming on May 1st. And I did. So if you can, set a date for yourself and keep it. Hold yourself to that date. And even if you want to run and hide, don't. Just embrace the fact that you'll probably suck. Because everyone sucks when they do something new for the first time. It's okay. You can go back and look at your old VODs and laugh and cringe. You can even do it with your audience, once you get one. I've seen some people do that, some of the corpo VTubers going back and watching their debut streams to their audience and just cringing the entire time. It's beautiful. After all, you wouldn't cringe if there was no growth. So embrace the cringe. Let yourself fail. It'll be fine. And it'll be content. Maybe that's the most important part. I'm just gonna tuck the hair behind these little strands here. And with that, maybe I can actually make that a little bit less wrinkly in a couple of areas. Just saw something out of the corner of my eye, but it's actually fine. Alright. I think that's pretty good. Never mind the face. But we can turn the body back on. Should be able to work normally now. Yeah. Oop. Okay. Nose is a bit itchy again this morning, so I do apologize if my face is spazzing out over there. My face just starts spazzing out, that tends to mean that my nose is very itchy again. Alright. Time for hair strands. Let's go. We'll just get these guys back into place. I think a lot of them I won't even have to adjust that much. This one I do. It'll vary. It's alright. I'll make all the adjustments that these little strands need. Every single one of them. And we'll get good homes for all of them. Let's see. Exactly how does this one look here? It doesn't quite follow the angle of the strand next to it. So I shouldn't worry too much about the angle on the strand there. Let's just pull him out a little bit more. Doesn't need to be shy. He can be his own strand. Do his own thing. To go and do what he wants to do. Doesn't have to follow the rules set by the strand next to him. Don't want him to be crunchy, though. That never looks good. Man, that's some crunch. See if I can work this out here. Let me see how it is. Trying to figure out the angles on the mesh over here, and then see if I can just get away with straightening out the triangles here. As if I can get them into the same general shape, that should help fix some of the crunchiness I'm seeing here. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not sure if it's in the right place at the top, though. Oh no, it is. Okay, cool. It's definitely some noticeable upward shifting, though, so let's help him out. Let's help this little guy out. Give him a gentle nudge downward. Not enough that he falls down, of course. Just enough that the shifting stops. And that got most of it, but there's still a little bit at the top here, so I'll go grab that too. There we go. That should be good. I'm looking very closely at where it connects to, but I think it's connecting in the right place. Yeah, looks very promising. Alright, over here. Oh man, doesn't that look funny? It's amazing how the locations of those strands can really change the way the hair looks. Like, personally, I mean, some of the crunchiness aside, I think this could make... Like, it could be conceivable that this is just how it looked. But then you go back to where it was originally, and it's like, oh, yes, this completely changes the way the hair looks. It's one of those things that I think is kind of interesting. Alright. This one needs a big brush. But not that big. Just noticed that it was a little bit crunchy and thin on that side too. So I'm just gonna use the brush to guide this into place instead of the arrow keys. Where does this connect again? Okay. Over here. Gotta send it all the way over here. Yeah, I believe it connects on top of that highlight. Which makes sense. Where'd it go? There it is. Lost track of what I was looking at for a second there. But fell asleep. So right now I'm getting all the tingles in my toes and I'm trying to work it all out. And my nose just keeps getting ticklish. My body's just like, oh, you want to go make art? Well, I want to make you feel funny. Good luck focusing. Bodies are trolls, you know that? Keep wanting to do all these things like eat and sleep, and gets in the way of doing more productive things. Like, man, body, why do you want to relax sometimes? Why can't we just draw all day and all night? Then you want to go and sleep. It's very rude. Don't appreciate my body's neediness. And it's like, oh, you're doing some delicate hair movement. Well, here, have a nose tickle. Doesn't it tickle? Doesn't it feel funny? Don't you want to scratch it? And I just shake my head. Wow, I didn't realize it was shifting downward that much. That's impressive. Okay. Shift this whole thing up. Like, way up. Okay, let's start here. Too much. You know, I'm actually a little bit relieved. So when I was doing all that shifting, I was like, huh, was it really that bad? The answer is no. It actually wasn't. Wasn't that bad at all. Alright. I think that's enough in place that I can start working my way down. So let's start at the top. You can still see that this little egg guy right here, a little area right there, is still going upward at kind of a weird angle. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on with him. Let's see what's going on with this little guy here. Where does it want to go? I will help guide you to a better home. Yeah, and I can see a little bit of the highlight below peeking through. So I just need to move this over a bit to the left. Something like that. Yeah. That's much better. Not perfect. I still have a couple of spots I want to clean up, but man, is that much better. Gotta take every victory you can. Even my legs cannot decide what position they want to sit in today. They've been oddly restless the past couple of days. It's been very strange. You'd think with all the extra walking that I've been doing lately that they'd be less restless. But they are not. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with my body later and ask it what it actually wants to be doing. Clearly not giving it something that it needs, so I can just go interrogate it later. Figure out what it wants. mean, I always talk about putting these little strands in the right place and making it so that they're not happy and squirmy. I should probably apply the same courtesy to my own body. Make it so it's not happy. Make it not happy. No, make it so it is happy. Yes, please, body, be happy. Be happy and not squirmy. It was a slip of the tongue, I swear. Yeah, I was wondering if I could get away with leaving an extra highlight there, but I think that actually doesn't look very good. So I'm just gonna have to pull the whole thing over. That's okay, I can do that. I can definitely do that. Lately, I've been going on walks every day, right after stream. But I think I'm gonna reschedule that walk time to right before I go to bed. I'm kind of hoping that it'll help me sleep a little bit better. My insomnia hasn't been too bad lately, but I'm in this weird pattern where I get up like 3.5 hours before I'm supposed to get up. I say that because I have a very strange sleep schedule, and trust me, it makes more sense when I say it using relative hours rather than the actual time. And it's been like that for a few weeks now. On the dot, same time every day. I don't know why. So I'm hoping that maybe a little bit of physical activity right before bed will help. I say this like I'm not playing with my kids right before I go to bed, too. Because I put them down for their nap and then I go to bed. But regardless, it's something I can try. And you know, just like art, in real life sometimes you just gotta try things. See what happens. Hope for the best. So that'll be interesting. I pulled the umbrella out of the trunk today. So I have that already. I'm super sensitive to the sun, which was part of the advantage of doing it right after stream, because then it was dark. I didn't have to worry about any of this. I don't have to do things like put sunscreen on every day, so I'm hoping that the umbrella will just keep me protected from the sun enough, and that I won't have to worry about it. Didn't expect to be making this strand quite so thick. But yeah, it's really growing, isn't it? Like, man. Okay. One thing I do kind of lament about going for a walk during the day instead of at night is that I will have to carry that umbrella. I was hoping at some point that maybe I'd start jogging instead of walking. That'd probably be better for me. I'm super out of shape though, so the walking is as much as I can handle right now. And it's better than nothing, so I'm starting there. And I can already feel my leg strength going up. The walk gets easier every day. So I can feel the progress. And at some point, maybe I can handle jogging part of it. And then maybe eventually all of it, but that's gonna be a bit harder with an umbrella. But I can probably manage it. I think my brain is just coming up with excuses because it doesn't want to exercise. Brains are crafty like that. You always gotta take what they say with a grain of salt. Man, I'm kind of amazed at how much this strand got shifted downward. Okay, but now it's at least starting to shift upward. I was gonna say, I tugged on that quite a lot. I would have been concerned if it was still shifting upward. Or downward, yes. I know what I mean. The dyslexia, man. Left to right and up and down. I just keep saying the opposite of what I mean. Well, this little strand was a bit harder than I was expecting. But I think it's all coming together. Looking very nice. Just gradually working my way down the tip. But I don't think I feel like... Well, I'm like, do I feel like finishing it? No. But I'm going to anyway. Let's go. I don't like leaving things unfinished. I'm just like, right now I kinda just want to chill, but... Like I said, brains are crafty. They try to convince you to not work. To not try hard. With all the reasons. Just gonna nail you with a bunch of cringe and make it so you don't want to do anything. But it's okay. I have learned my brain's tricks. And I know how to ignore them. So let's go ahead and finish off this strand. And that'll probably be the last thing I do today. Unless I just get a sudden burst of energy. Because man, doing some of these little strands... It takes a lot out of my brain. Just thinking of all the 3D space. Even though we live in a 3D world, sometimes I think our brains were not meant to comprehend 3D space at all. Especially not imaginary 3D space. Or maybe just because I'm a woman. There are some studies out there that show that men are generally better at understanding 3D space. Statistically, of course. Naturally, there will be individual women that are better at handling it than individual men. And I can guarantee that most artists are probably better at understanding it than any non-artist. But, statistically, they do tend to be better at it. So hopefully I just need to straighten some of these triangles and then everything will look fine. That'd be nice. I do like it when my problems can be solved by straightening out triangles. There's a certain satisfaction in organizing things to begin with. But when it actually solves all your problems, it's like, oh yeah, that's great. I'm not entirely sure what's wrong or why some of these vertices are a little bit unhappy. So I'm just getting rid of any shifting that I see. And hoping that'll solve the problem for me. And if it doesn't, hopefully it'll at least make the problem known. So right now I don't quite know what's wrong. I just know something's wrong. I do a bit of intense staring here. Right there. Right there. Need to find the strand. There it is. Right around here. You can see I'm just staring and then trying to find where the shifting is happening. There, trying to find where the shift is happening. And hopefully, being able to spot that little bit of shifting will give me all the answers I need. All the problems are just in those little shifts, I think. And once I work those out, everything will be okay. Everything should look pretty good. In theory. In theory. Okay, I think that worked out most of it. How does it look from all the way out here? Are we good? No, actually. Okay. So it does look like this is still sticking out quite a lot, so let's bring it back in. And then there's still some crunchiness around here. So maybe once I work out the crunchiness, that'll be a good sign that everything is in place. So I'm gonna focus on getting rid of those crunchy areas. You can see here what I mean by it. Like, look at the way this weird distortion is. That is what I call crunchy. I'm gonna focus on getting rid of the crunchiness, and then I'll see where any further distortion is happening. That should be good. Alright, let's check on distortions. Still looks like it's going upward a little bit. Okay. So because it looks like it's going upward, if I start lowering everything over here, change the angle here, make it more pointed downward. Hopefully that corrects that. Now I'm going to get rid of all the crunchiness all the way through. Not have crunchy hair. That's just a bad sign all around. If you have crunchy hair, you need a shower. That's just how it works. Close. Only the very tip has problems, I think. Only the very tip here. Alright. See if that worked out the last little bit there. not quite. It's really, really close. And even though my brain is a little bit tired, I really want to get this last little bit, because it'll drive me crazy all day if I don't. As long as I'm streaming it, I'm just like, I can look, but I cannot adjust. I cannot fix it. Even if I find the issue, I cannot fix it. And that'll just be like, oh no. Truly hell. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Me right now is content with this. So let's save our no longer floating head. Alright, that's where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any other creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.